Hello, and welcome to Boomerang Beyond Wellness and Have It Your Way workouts. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today's deep dive is into an exercise called the Skull Crusher. Sounds a little scary, huh? Well, don't be afraid of it. However, it is an indication we do need to be super careful because I'm going to be using bands and weights today, and we're going to be real close to the head, so we need to be very, very careful with it. Now, this said, the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat, an exercise bench, a workout bench. However, it's not required. This exercise is done supine, so we're on our backs face up. Therefore, you can take it to the floor, or if you are uncomfortable getting down onto the floor, you can choose to do it in your bed as well. Now, we'll also be using, I mentioned an exercise loop, because I will demonstrate it though unilaterally with the loop, which means one arm at a time. And I just want to show you a little tip here to make sure you're safe with your exercise bands and your loops. I hold mine up toward the light and I just kind of scan it, making sure there's no little tiny pinhole, because if there is, I would discard it. The other thing too is you want to make sure you don't store them near heat, so out of the sun. And also, let's say you've knotted yours, well, you want to unknot it to store it, otherwise it's staying like that permanently. And if maybe you sweat on it or you got water on your band or your loop, you want to make sure it dries off before you store it. Now, how I store them is I like to repurpose stuff, particularly trying to avoid single-use plastic. So I have some really old cosmetic cases. So I was like, I'm taking them out for my exercise loops and my bands. And what I do is put a whole bunch of them into one pouch, and I add 1/4 teaspoon, just a 1/4 teaspoon of non-GMO cornstarch to it, and then every time I go to use it, I shake it up and then take it out. You don't want to put a lot of cornstarch, you're not baking a cake, you know. So I take it out and it's nice and supple. You will really preserve the shelf life this way. Also, the weights I'll be using today will be 1 pair of 10-pound weights. And then I'm going to suggest for some of you that you have a hand towel available. Fold it up and put it under your head when you are in a supine position. Now, this leads me right into the medical disclaimers and precautionary measures. And well, the towel would be for those of you who are medicated or not for hypertension, if you have vertigo or GERD. I just want you to have a slight elevation of your head. The loop and the exercise mat, well, they are made out of latex. So if you have a latex allergy, you want to look for non-latex or latex-free. Also, if you have golfer's elbow, which is medial epicondylitis, or tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis, I got to tell you to seek medical advice if any tricep work, back of that upper arm, is appropriate for you. Also, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, we want to avoid this wrist position. It's called wrist extension. Doesn't matter where the arm is, folks. It's all still wrist extension. So you particularly want to be careful with the exercise loop, and I'll point it out to you when we're doing the exercise. Now, these are a bunch of different chronic issues that I've mentioned. Really, for anybody who has any chronic concern, because you know this is your chronic concerns corner, I invite you to preview the video before participating. Look for what you can do. And if you're not sure, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview it as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, the muscles we'll be working today, yes, they will be the triceps, the back of the upper arm, but also the anterior deltoid, the front shoulders, as well as the pectoral muscles of the chest. The activities of daily living that are benefited by this movement would be anything that has to do with a pushing movement, pushing out, right? So this would be maybe pushing a heavy grocery cart or pushing a stroller with your children or your beautiful grandchildren. And also maybe you come upon a really heavy door. You got to really get in there and push it open. Now, of course, it's not just upper body involved in that movement. The hips are certainly involved, but particularly for females, we are rather weak when it comes to the upper body, so let's teach you how to work a few of these isolation movements, but to understand that exercise is never reductionist. It's never just one muscle at a time doing the work. Now, a few gentle reminders. So always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to during any workout. This is not a workout, folks. This is just breaking down one exercise to help you create your own workout, a DIY approach. Also, please stay hydrated, especially with water. Now, if you do have medical issues with your bladder or your kidneys, please follow that medical advice regarding water intake. On the channel, you will find a warm-up and a cool-down video, just one video where we interchange the movements, and it is advised for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for a full 10 minutes prior to any workout. Now, within the community tab of the channel, you'll find a rating of perceived exertion chart, RPE for short. This is a 0 through 10 subjective scale that I've been using literally for 36, going to be 37 years soon in my career, and it is, though subjective, incredibly accurate. And it's very helpful for those of you with a pacemaker, or maybe you're on certain medications like beta blockers, or you just don't know how to take your training heart rate. It's a great tool. And also, I have within that community tab a really cool image of a female physique executing the exercise. And finally, a great article I found about the exercise from Healthline. Now, what we're going to do today is work on just one set of the exercise, and a set is a group of repetitions. I like to work between 8 to 15 repetitions. We will definitely be doing 15 repetitions today because the first 5 repetitions are done without the resistance, no loop, no weights. And this is to help those of you with the chronic concerns, those of you new to exercise, and those of you new to strength training. The second group of 5 repetitions will be with the exercise loop. However, that's when I'm going to demonstrate it unilaterally, one arm at a time. And then finally, with the weights, I will demonstrate it bilaterally, both arms at the same time. So let's get going over here. I'm going to come onto my back. If you are working on a bench, and I know some of you have it because some of you have sent me pictures of it, so you just want to make sure you want to hold on, and you can roll down. If you don't need to hold on, that's fine. Now, if you have back issues, you can always feel free to put one foot up on the bench if you need to bring both feet up to really feel secure with your lower back, especially do it. Why not? So now, I'm going to bring my arms up. I'm going to make soft fists. I'm puffing up my chest. The ticket here with tricep work is to make sure your elbow joint points up toward the ceiling. So I inhale as I lower, and I exhale all the way up. Be careful of dropping the elbows. I see a lot of people doing this on the lowering phase, and I see them going all the way back. Just be careful of both of those. So exhale up. Breath is in and out through the nose, pausing at the peak of the contraction right here. And my belly button is fully engaged. Exhale up and relax it down. Now I'm going to grab my loop, which I kept close by. Okay, so when I go to do this now, I'm going to turn my palm forward. This is where I need carpal tunnel to be careful of going into wrist extension. I need a straight wrist. So I'm going to bend my elbow, place my opposite hand holding on to the loop on top of my shoulder, my opposite shoulder, the working arm. Now exhale up. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale up. I just did a little shift of my arm to make sure that elbow is stabilized. Inhale to lower. Exhale up. So some of you don't like weights. You prefer bands and tubes, etc. So this is an option. Pause. And now when I lower down, come away from your face with the band and the loop, and I'm going to take it to the other side and grab your loop here, hand to your opposite shoulder, elbow pointing toward the ceiling. I got to be careful with the microphone. And exhale up, inhale down, exhale up. Now you see you're going close to your head, but notice I'm not dropping all the way to the bench. That is just simply too much pressure on the elbow joint. Exhale up, pause. One more, all the way up. I'm going to go for one more. I just want to check my form here with you. Yes, and hold. Easy to lower and come away from the face. Now, I'm going to slowly come up here. Notice I like to store my stuff underneath the bench. If you have a bench, get it underneath so you don't land your feet on anything. And I'm going to come over here now and coming onto my back. I have the weights on my thighs. So I'm going to roll down. Now, if you want, you can bring your feet up and it makes it kinder to land on the bench, but you don't have to. Arms up, puff up my chest. Arms are straight. I'm focusing on a non-moving point on the ceiling. Exhale up all the way. Inhale, lower. I'm not going to touch that bench, folks, and I'm not going to touch my head. Got two more. Exhale, up, pause. One more. Elbows up higher, Angela. So I'm going to do one more like that with my elbows up higher. I just noticed they were lowering all the way up. I bring the thighs up toward the weights. Slowly come on up. And that's what we've got for you today here, folks, on Have It Your Way workouts at Boomer and Beyond Wellness. So if you find some value to my content, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. YouTube will release the video to more viewers when you have more followers and subscribers. So I do appreciate your efforts, and if you care to, feel free to share the videos with other people and perhaps give it a kind comment. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be reminded of new content. And if you are interested in working with me privately, I do work remotely as a senior fitness consultant with personal training. I do 60-minute, 30-minute, and 10-minute sessions. Those 10 minutes are the Have It Your Way workouts, just one person at a time. And also, I am available for online Hatha yoga. And if you are in the Fort Lauderdale area, look me up, as I am also a licensed massage therapist. And that's when I do go to people's homes and offices for on-site massage therapy. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water. Thank you for your support. Be well.